In a world that often demands men to suppress their voices, to bury their struggles beneath stoic facades, something transformative is unfolding. It's not happening in the sterile confines of therapy rooms or the amplified echo chambers of podcasts. It's happening in quiet, intentional spaces, circles, to be precise, where men are gathering, speaking, and healing. These are men's talking circles, and in 2025, they are quietly reshaping lives, one honest conversation at a time. Picture this, a group of men, seated in a circle, shoulder to shoulder. There's no stage, no spotlight, no hierarchy. The setting might be a community center, a backyard, or a forest clearing, just a space where the outside world's noise fades away. The rules are simple yet profound: speak your truth, listen without judgment, and hold space for one another. No one interrupts. No one offers unsolicited advice. No one tries to fix what's shared. In these circles, the act of being heard is enough. For many men, this is a radical departure from the norm. Society has long conditioned men to stay silent about their inner lives. Emotions are often seen as a liability, vulnerability as a weakness. Men are taught to endure, to soldier on, to bottle up pain until it festers into anger, isolation, or despair. But in these circles, the script is flipped. Here, vulnerability is not a flaw, it's a gateway to strength. Here, silence is not a shield, it's a weight to be set down. In 2025, the need for spaces like these has never been more urgent. The world is louder than ever, with social media amplifying every opinion, every critique, every expectation. Men are caught in a cultural crossfire, criticized for being too masculine or not masculine enough, too emotional or too cold, too assertive or too passive. The pressure to fit into these conflicting molds is exhausting, and the cost of pretending to have it all together is steep: broken relationships, mental health crises, and a pervasive sense of disconnection. Men's talking circles offer an antidote to this chaos. They are not about debating masculinity or conforming to ideals. They are about creating a space where men can show up as they are, raw, uncertain, hopeful, or hurting, and be met with understanding. In these circles, men share stories of grief, failure, fear, and triumph. They talk about the weight of providing for a family, the sting of rejection, the ache of unspoken dreams. They speak of love, loss, and the quiet moments of joy that often go unnoticed. And in doing so, they discover what makes these circles so powerful is the presence of other men, men who have walked similar paths, faced similar battles, and carried similar burdens. There's a unique kind of understanding that comes from being witnessed by those who share your struggles, not because they've read about them in a book or seen them on a screen, but because they've lived them. This brotherhood is not about posturing or competition, it's about solidarity. It's about recognizing that every man in the circle is a warrior, not because he's invincible, but because he's shown up despite his scars. In these spaces, men cry. They reflect. They forgive, not because they're weak, but because they're done carrying the weight of their pain alone. They speak of fathers who were absent, of marriages that crumbled, of dreams deferred by duty. They share the guilt of not being enough and the fear of never measuring up. And as they speak, something shifts. The act of being heard, of having their truths met with nods, silence, or shared tears, begins to dismantle the walls they've built around themselves. In 2025, men's talking circles are part of a broader movement to redefine what it means to be a man. This isn't about rejecting traditional notions of strength or embracing a one-size-fits-all model of masculinity. It's about depth, authenticity, and the courage to be fully human. It's about recognizing that true strength lies not in silence, but in the bravery to speak one's truth in the presence of others. It's about understanding that masculinity is not a performance, it's a journey. These circles are not a cure-all. They don't erase the challenges of modern life or undo years of conditioning. But they offer something rare and precious, a space where men can be seen, heard, and valued for who they are, not what they do or how well they conform. They provide a counterpoint to the isolation of scrolling through social media, the superficiality of casual banter, or the pressure to man up and move on. The impact of these circles extends beyond the men who sit in them. When a man finds the courage to speak his truth, to release his burdens, he carries that clarity and strength back into his life. He becomes a better partner, father, friend, or colleague, not because he's fixed himself, but because he's learned to be present, to listen, to connect. The ripple effect of these circles is felt in families, workplaces, and communities, where men show up with greater empathy, resilience, and authenticity. In 2025, men's talking circles are popping up everywhere: urban community centers, rural retreats, online platforms, and even informal gatherings among friends. They vary in structure and focus. Some are facilitated by trained leaders, others are entirely peer-led, some incorporate rituals like meditation or storytelling, while others are as simple as a group of guys with a shared commitment to show up. But they all share a common thread, a belief that men deserve spaces to be human, to heal, and to grow. If you're a man reading this, tired of the masks, the noise, the endless scroll of distractions, consider this an invitation. Find a circle, or start one. It doesn't need to be formal or polished. It doesn't need a fancy venue or a long list of rules. All it needs is a few men willing to sit together, to listen, to speak from the heart. It might feel awkward at first. It might feel vulnerable. But that discomfort is where the growth begins. In a world that often tells men to stay silent, to tough it out, to go it alone, men's talking circles are a quiet revolution. They're a reminder that strength is not about carrying the weight of the world, it's about sharing it. It's about sitting in a circle, shoulder to shoulder, and saying, "This is my truth. This is my story." And in that act of courage, finding the freedom to heal, to connect, and to become something more. In 2025, masculinity is not about dominance or noise. It's about depth. It's about clarity. It's about brotherhood. So take a seat. Speak your truth. And listen. The circle is waiting.